If you think all Caribbean islands are the same, Grenada is about to blow that theory wide open. This isn't just another beach stop. It's the island that smells like nutmeg, shows up like an inquisitive art gallery opening, and welcomes you with real, unfiltered soul. Let me give you the top 3 reasons you need to add Grenada to your travel list, like now. Grenada has more spices per square mile than anywhere else on Earth. Not just nutmeg, Grenada grows cinnamon, cloves, turmeric, bay leaf, pimento, ginger, and mace, all in abundance. It smells like a spice rack everywhere you go. If flavor had a homeland, it would be Grenada. It's even on its flag. Number 2, it has the world's first underwater sculpture park. Yes, underwater. Just off the coast here, you can snorkel or dive through hauntingly beautiful art installations placed on the seafloor. It's eerie, emotional, unlike anything else in the Caribbean. This isn't a beach selfie spot. It's a full-on experience. And number 3, it's underrated, and that's the magic. Grenada isn't overrun with cruise crowds or mega resorts. What you get instead is locals waving at you as you walk past, quiet coves with barely another soul, and a genuine feeling that you discovered something. You didn't just visit. The island fed our senses, challenged our expectations, and reminded us why we travel in the first place. So let me take you there. Let's go explore Grenada. Hi everyone, I'm Leslie, and when I tell you that my passport is my favorite book, travel runs through my veins, and I book my next trip when I'm on a trip. I am not kidding. Travel is my life, and I'm glad you're here for it. So let's go check out Grenada. After 3 beautiful stops in the ABCs, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, we arrive in Grenada, and what a surprise St. George's was. I was so excited to see the hillside spill down into our horseshoe-shaped harbor, with all the red-tiled roofs, pastel buildings, and colonial architecture. It looks like someone crossed, the south of France with the West Indies and landed it all right here in Grenada. All the excitement of the hills and seeing the hillside colorful houses got the best of me. Without thinking, I ran out on the balcony to film our arrival into Grenada. And I hear all these whistles and hoots, and I was like looking around trying to figure out what was going on. Yeah, it was all the workers helping our cruise ship to port here in Grenada. And when I see them down there and I see them looking up at me, I realize that I am literally in a tank top and my panties on my balcony. I didn't even think about it. And so I saw Grenada and Grenada saw me. That's not the only drama that I had for the day either. I had an up close and unfortunate meeting with the cruise ship security today too. So be sure to watch to the end. I'll tell you all about that. Needless to say, I'm kind of on their watch list now. The harbor here has a history. It's wrapped around a deep natural inlet once used by pirates, colonialists, and traders that is now lined with cafes, fish markets, and brightly painted shops that slope up the hillside like a postcard. At the top, that's Fort George, built by the French in 1705, where you can look out over the city, the ocean, and the layered history of Grenada itself, including a still haunting connection to the 1983 US invasion. The town is snug up close to the port, and although hilly, the town is super walkable, so just be prepared for the hills. We headed into town, ascending what seemed like, 70-degree hills to the first of thousands of churches we will see around the world. It was this sweet little cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. The Cathedral of Immaculate Conception is one of St. George's most visually striking and symbolically rich buildings in Grenada. It is perched above the harbor, just behind the market square, and overlooks all of St. George's. which means the views from here are almost as impressive as the views of it. Its bell tower, worn by time but still standing proud, is one of the first things we saw as our ship pulled into the port. But this isn't just another pretty church. The original chapel here was built in 1804, and the cathedral itself was completed in 1884, making it over a century old. It's weathered hurricanes, fires, the 2004 destruction from Hurricane Ivan, which ripped off the roof and left the interior in ruins. But like Grenada itself, it rebuilt stronger, prouder, and more rooted. When you go inside, it's surprisingly simple. No gilded columns or stained glass, just soft, light, carved wood, and this just peaceful essence. Look at this view. And this is a stunning pipe organ at another little church we popped our heads into. The views from this vantage point are really just breathtaking. We head back down to the hill to explore the harbor and the marina. There's so many cool photo ops here. One of my very favorite photos came from right here in Grenada. Do you recall that I mentioned the underwater sculpture park? This would be a great thing to do and see here in Grenada. Since we've never been here, we really wanted to just explore on foot. However, the underwater sculpture park is only about 20 minutes from the cruise port in a cab, and that is about a $40 round trip. The site of the underwater sculpture park was built by eco-artist Jason DeCaires Taylor after Hurricane Ivan devastated Grenada's coral reef here in 2006. Marine biologists and conservationists sought a creative way to divert snorkel and dive traffic away from the fragile reef zones. These sculptures are made of pH-neutral cement designed to encourage coral growth and encourage marine life to take residence. Over time, they transform into living reefs, fostering biodiversity. The sculptures are all from 10 to 25 feet, allowing you to dive, snorkel, kayak, and even take a glass-bottom boat. You can even snorkel for free if you bring your own gear from Dragon Bay, but visibility is limited in Dragon Bay and the water's rougher, so be prepared. You can also do a tour of De Galston Spice Estate, which is a step back in time to see how nutmeg, cloves, and cinnamon were traditionally harvested here. Don't miss Grenada's House of Chocolate, a boutique museum meets cafe in St. George's, where you can learn about the rich cocoa history and, of course, taste some incredible chocolates as well as handmade truffles. Also, the distillers here, like the River Antone Rum Distillery. It's the oldest functioning rum distillery in the Caribbean. They use a 200-year-old plus water wheel and no automation. And try the 138 proof rum if you dare. Chase nutmeg everything. Remember, Grenada is the island of spice, and for a reason. Try the nutmeg ice cream, nutmeg syrup for your pancakes, nutmeg punch. Think kind of eggnog-ish, but be sure to stick with ground nutmeg if you want to take some home. They can be a little tricky when you take a pod back in order to get it through customs because of the USDA restrictions with disease and pests. Also, of course, there's always the beach. The best and recommended beach here in Grenada is Grand Anse Beach. It's just south of St. George's, which you can reach by a cab, again, in about 15 minutes from the marina. Think 2 miles of powdery white sand, palm and almond trees, and of course the view, not only of the water, but of those beautiful hills. We decide that we're going to bar hop our way back to the cruise ship, just stopping at every local interesting place we see as we go. First up is Sales. Sales Restaurant, not only for the local stag, but for this incredible spot, and a few more with this guy and this one. We did have a lot to reward ourselves for after all this hill climbing. Before we end our stop in Grenada, remember I said I had an unfortunate meeting with the cruise security team. So some of you may know that we are on Royal Caribbean's Ultimate World Cruise for 9 months. So this is the hairdryer I brought. There's a lot going on here, so I need all the help I can get. So this gets super hot. Not a big deal. It's allowed on the cruise ships, but because it gets so hot, my cabin needed to have pretty significant circulation, and I didn't have it properly circulating. The smoke alarms on board are sensitive to not only smoke, but you guessed it, heat. So I set the fire alarm off in my cabin, and let me tell you, like, boom, boom, boom. My phone is ringing, and I have security at my door literally within probably 10 seconds of me turning my blow dryer on. But anyway, so I let security in. They were for sure that I had been smoking in the room because, of course, that's probably consistent with what happens. I, of course, wasn't. So I gave him permission. They literally searched the room, and he just gave me a warning that he did not want to be back and that I needed to make sure to keep the air conditioning on and I needed to keep the door propped open when I was using my blow dryer. And so from that point, which was the middle, literally, we had been on board for 2 weeks until the end of the cruise, 9 months later, every single security guy I saw with like that when they walked by me, at least I didn't get in trouble and I didn't have to sacrifice my blow dryer. So there's that. Grenada surprised us in all the right ways. We really had no idea what to expect here, and it just felt like a warm local Caribbean hug with flavor, with heart, and with stories waiting around every corner. Whether you come here for the views or the history or just a hit of Caribbean soul, trust me, Grenada delivered. I wonder, have you been to Grenada? What did you do? How long did you stay? How did you get here? Just give me the whole 411 about it. I would love to hear about it. What did you think of the video today? Just put all your comments below. I love you sharing your stories with me, and I appreciate the feedback. Now would be a great time to remind you to subscribe, because what is up next is going to blow your mind. First of all, I will give you a little bit of a teaser in that we are stepping foot into Brazil, which in and of itself is crazy cool. I'm so excited. We have 3 stops in Brazil. One is one gets better, and then one will just blow your mind. So you want to be sure to subscribe, because those are going to be some stops that you absolutely don't want to miss. Thank you for being here with me as we explore Grenada. And until we step foot in Brazil, bye for now.